Well, thank you so much, Nina. I really appreciate that introduction. You're so sweet, so kind. And yes, 12 years ago, I did learn about the very beginnings of what I'm going to share tonight about the power of plants and the power specifically of plant powders. And so I have some great news for you tonight. So I'm excited about showing that. Let me share my screen. Gotta move some things around here. Okay, can everybody see my screen? It says how not to get sick.
Yes, I can.
Good deal. Thank you. Well, again, there is a lot of stuff going around, and I was actually inspired by an article that I read in Prevention Magazine back in November and it was entitled How Not to Get Sick. And I thought, well, that's something everybody wants to know, right? And so I began this journey and started doing some research on, why we are so sick and why during the cold and flu season, as we call it, we are struggling mostly with respiratory illnesses. This could also be titled just fueling your immune system or resetting your immune system for a fighting chance. And that's what I want to help you do tonight. Or you could say how not to get sick, and you don't have to live in a bubble like this lady is on the screen here. Just a little attempt here at humor myself. So, post pandemic, it seems like everyone is sick more and more sick. So sick more often, and when they get sick, they're more sick. It hangs on longer, right? And this especially is true of respiratory illnesses. So we've got flu, RSV, COVID, pneumonia. That's not even on my list, but pneumonia is on the rise. I have a niece right now who has pneumonia. So these things are on the rise, and there are some reasons for this. There are a couple of theories. First of all, the immunity debt, and that is that the isolation that we had during the pandemic weakened our immune function because we were less exposed to other people and to the other things that were float around in the air and so forth. So that's one reason. Another one is immunity theft. And that is that COVID robbed our immune function, making us more vulnerable to these things. But this is the bottom line, y'all. Theories aside, illness and disease happen when our immune function is not strong enough to produce the adequate antibodies to resist whatever comes at us, no matter what that is, whether that is the respiratory illnesses we're talking about tonight, or whether we're talking about chronic disease. We could be talking about diabetes or asthma or cancer or heart disease. The bottom line is when our immune system is not strong enough, we can't fight these things off. So this is going to be about how we're going to fight back. First of all, though, I'm going to talk to you about things that suppress our immune system. And you may recognize you may find some things here that you think, oh, wow, I didn't realize that. First of all, a diet high in processed food and sugar. That is definitely an immune suppressor. There are things in our food today that our bodies just really, honestly do not know what to do with. And of course, sugar has always been an immune suppressor. Processed sugar, white sugar primarily, but sugars in general are immune suppressors. Vitamin D deficiency, and this is one reason why we call this the cold and flu season. So vitamin D, if you don't know, there really are only like two or three foods on the planet that have vitamin D in them. So we can't eat our way into vitamin D, but the way we get vitamin D is through the sun, right? And so, first of all, the sun's not out as much, but also when it's there, what are we? We're all wrapped up because it's cold, right? So the only skin showing might be our hands or our faces, right? So we're not able to get as much vitamin D during the winter season. So therefore, that is an immune suppressor. Also, overuse of antibiotics and lack of probiotic foods are a couple reasons why that our immune function is housed in our gut, and antibiotics just wreck our immune function. Sleep deprivation is another one, just not getting enough sleep. Stress Stress does a number on our bodies and on our immune function as well. Of course, hand hygiene and not paying attention to enough, taking care of washing our hands enough and using soap and water. And then dehydration. Really, we are, as a rule, Americans are terribly dehydrated. But I have some good news for you, and that is that the best advice to take care of those immune suppressants isn't that complicated. It's really pretty simple. But we must be consistent with these things. We must be consistent with our daily habits, the things that we know will help to be a healthy lifestyle or a good for you lifestyle. These are the things that we must be consistent in: regular exercise, quality sleep, staying hydrated, our stress relief, and eating a nourishing diet. All of these things are important, and these are really pillars of our health. Regular exercise doesn't have to be difficult, y'all. We just move every day. I know it's cold outside and difficult to get out, and you don't have to go join a gym or buy some expensive piece of equipment. You can do exercise just in your home. There are tons of videos out on YouTube or on the internet that you can find that you can do exercise in your home. Quality sleep, y'all, and I'm guilty of this a lot. This is the one that I struggle with, getting enough sleep. And we treat sleep in the United States a lot like a luxury, like, oh, I'll sleep in today, as if it's something that we can, is a luxury. But we should get a minimum of 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. Also staying hydrated. Again, I was telling you, we're dehydrated. We need a minimum of half our body weight in ounces of water every day. And so many of us fail to do that. Stress relief. That is something that we need to do. We need to do some deep breathing every day. That exercise that I talked about is good for stress relief. But we need to do some things. We need to spend some time in quiet without the screens on, do some meditation and some prayer time, and just spend some quiet time to relieve the stress that we are all under. It's inevitable in life. And then, of course, eating a nourishing diet. So I want to tell you that of all of these things, the experts agree, the doctors, the American Cancer Society, the American Heart Association, the Diabetes Association, all of those experts and more agree that the most important thing is to eat a nourishing diet. Yes, it does matter what's on the end of your fork. The experts also agree that we need a food first approach. So food matters. Food is our fuel, but what we choose to be that food is something that we need to really learn about and pay attention to. Specifically, we need a wide variety of fruits and vegetables. And we must know also that we can't boost our immune function with one food or supplement. It takes the phytonutrients and all of the nutrients that God put in those fruits and vegetables for us to really stay healthy. And finally, the jury is in. Vitamins are out. Now, that might be shocking to some of you. It was shocking to me, and I'll tell you more about that when I share my story a little bit later. But vitamins are out, and this is why. The experts agree, first of all, but they're not bioavailable. Typically, they are not, at least not all, the bulk of them. So what I mean by that is your body doesn't know how to process them. They're man-made, first of all, and they're made in the lab, and at least some part of them is not able to be processed by your body. If you've ever taken vitamins or supplements, you might notice that when you urinate, that your urine is a bright yellow or green color. That's because what you're taking in is going out, and it's coloring your urine. So that means it's not bioavailable. And also, this vitamin and supplement industry is a $50 billion industry. Not so important as the fact that it is wholly unregulated. We like to say that it's kind of like the wild, wild west. But again, not just that, But there's lots of research out there that's telling us now that vitamins and supplements may even do more harm than good. As you see here, supplements including antioxidants such as beta carotene, vitamins A and E, they haven't shown much benefit. And there's some evidence that they may actually cause harm. And I'm going to show you a good bit of evidence to that. Also, studies have consistently shown that diets high in antioxidant-rich fruits, vegetables, and other plant foods are associated with lower rates of, in this case, cancer and heart disease, and that goes for all disease. So here are some of the studies that I found as I did my research. This one was done by the University of Newcastle in 2018. This study found that vitamin supplements may do more harm than good. Another one that was done by MD Anderson right here in Texas, that whole foods versus or supplements. This one, if you notice, it was done in 2012. So y'all, over 10 years ago, we have known that this truth about vitamins and supplements. Another one from this is the Mayo Clinic. And this take vitamins and supplements with caution because some may actually cause harm. But this is the truth, and this is the simple truth. God created us, and he placed us in what you see here, a garden. And he did that on purpose because he knew that the plants and the fruit-bearing trees were for our food. And he actually said that in Genesis. He told us that. So whole food is in, and it has been for quite a few millennia. So consuming adequate amounts of this give us a constant, steady supply of essential vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and phytonutrients. Some of those words might be unfamiliar to you, but basically it's all the things that make up the fruits and vegetables. And they all have their own unique set of these antioxidants and phytonutrients. So I said before about the experts and the authors. Now, and even the doctors are beginning to speak this truth. And this is so very encouraging to me, y'all. This book that you see here, Eat to Live by Dr. Joel Fuhrman, I have a story to tell you about it. This past summer, my husband he just went in for a regular checkup. They did some blood work. And they called him a few days later and said, hey, you need to come back in. You're diabetic. They told him that over the telephone. So that really got his attention and mine. And so when he went back for this follow-up, I went with him. And I was anxious to hear what the doctor had to say as far as what we could do to reverse his diabetes or to take care of his diabetes. Well, I want to tell you that I was pleasantly surprised when his doctor sat across from us and said, Randy, if you'll get this book by Dr. Joel Fuhrman, if you'll read it, if you will adopt it, and for 90 days, when you come back in 90 days, your A1C will be down, your weight will be down, you'll be sleeping better and feeling better all around. And I was shocked. I was completely shocked that he gave us this information, but I was so thrilled to know that right here in our small town of Gunnersville, that the doctor was telling him that fruits and vegetables and what he could eat could make a difference and could reverse his diabetes and get his A1C down. And y'all, I want to tell you, that's exactly what happened. It took him about a month to read the book and digest it and get ready to do it. But after that, he got on board. And even tonight, he made stir fry with it was just veggie stir fry. So he has pretty much adopted, and I'm right along with him, has adopted a vegan lifestyle. We're probably about 80-20 or 90-10, but most days and nights he's eating fruits and vegetables, and all those things that the doctor said would happen actually did happen. So that's very encouraging. And he's not on any medication. The doctor didn't recommend it in the beginning. He just said, if you come back in 90 days and these things haven't reversed, then we're going to have to look at some medication. So that really got his attention. But again, so encouraging that the doctors are finally on board and understanding the power of food. The truth of the matter, though, is that we need to eat all the colors, all the textures, a rainbow of fruits and vegetables is what we need every day. And that is a little harder to do than it is to than what you see right here. Especially this time of year, it's difficult to find all these different fruits and vegetables, and they're traveling. They're brought in from so far away that we question even the nutritional density of these fruits and vegetables once they even get to the grocery shelves. The idea of food isn't complicated, but the execution of it really can be. And this is one of the reasons why. Did you know that we should be ingesting 9 to 13 fist-sized servings of fruits and vegetables every single day? Now, we have adopted pretty much a vegan lifestyle, and I can tell you, we are not getting 9 to 13 fist-sized servings of fruits and vegetables every day. We just can't. That's a lot of food to take in. So that's the part of the execution that makes it difficult. And then there's other issues to think about too, and that's the availability, especially in the winter months, and the whole organic versus non-organic type fruits and vegetables. So there's the execution can be difficult. Again, 9 to 13 servings and the rainbow. This is the sad truth of the matter, though. Only 10% of us are getting this done, are getting 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. So 90% of us are failing in America, and that is sad. And it's not hard to believe, though, if you look at the state of our health in America, you can agree that our health snowball is definitely rolling in the wrong direction, and we have chronic disease and all the things that plague us is proving this to be true. So I want to tell you my story, and we started it with Nina sharing 12 years ago. I did show up in her living room. This was me on the left 12 years ago. I was overweight. I was fatigued. I was dealing with a lot of fatigue every day. I had headaches and joint pain and aches and pains really all over. And I was also struggling with the beginnings of what I now know to be IBS. In fact, I tell people that because of those IBS symptoms, I knew where every public restroom was in Marshall County, because I might have to find it at a moment's notice. So most of those things I was just accepted as normal. This is what it feels like to get old. And y'all, I was just turning 50, and I thought, this is what it feels like to be old. The IBS is what really got my attention, though, because I knew that was a progressive disease. I had people, friends and family that had these that disease and had really struggled. And it just, as I said, it's progressive, and so it just worse and worse. So that was really what got my attention. So I took the next step, and I decided to go see a nutritionist. I knew that it was probably connected to my nutrition, and I wanted to get some answers. I wanted some solutions. So I went to see a nutritionist in Huntsville, and she gave me a cocktail here, as you can see, of bottles and of vitamins and supplements. And you can see the writing on top of the bottles. This was complicated, y'all, because those were notes that told me how many times a day I needed to take them, what time of the day, did I need to take them with food or not. And so this was a complicated little regimen that I had going on here, not to mention how expensive it was. So that's where I started. But then my husband actually spoke to me and said, honey, I don't know, but about 6 months into this journey, he said, I think you're worse than when you started. And I really had to agree with him. And so about that time is when our mutual friend, Nina, began to invite me to come and hear more about what had turned her health around. And so I did go to Nina's living room and heard this story. And this is the story of the plant powders in capsules. And that's what you see here. These are actually veggie capsules, fruit capsules, berry capsules, and then another one I'll talk about in a few minutes. But these plant powders are what I heard about that night. And it was something I had never thought of, but it was like, oh my gosh, somebody figured out actually how to put plants in a capsule. And it made sense to me, y'all, when they talked about how they get these powders into the capsules. And really, it's just dehydrated, crushed up, pulverized plants, and with the water removed. So when the water's removed, then all those beautiful colors, all those nutrients, all those phytonutrients and antioxidants I was talking about before are preserved in those capsules and encapsulated to preserve them and keep them from oxidizing. And you're like, wait a minute, you said food first. Well, I did. And that is because this is just food. In fact, the label that are on the bottles that contain these capsules has a nutrition fact label and not a supplement fact label. So it is just food. The FDA actually agrees with us that this is just food and requires us to put a food label or a nutrition fact label on these bottles. So this is food. It's just a way to bridge the gap between what we're doing and what we should be doing. So again, let's review. We are sick more and more sick as Americans. Also, our immune function isn't strong enough to fight off what's coming at us. The experts are agreeing, all of them, that nutrition matters. Vitamins are out and food is in, plants to be specific. And the sad fact that only 10% of us get the 5 a day when we should be getting way more than that. So what if we could strengthen your immune function? What if you could join a different club, and that is the Sick Less Sick Club, and that's what I belong to. That's what I've belonged to now for quite some time, and I love it. What if you could join the experts, those experts that are agreeing that nutrition matters and what we put on the end of our fork is important? What if you could up your game with a food first approach? And what if you could better the 10% that we actually see in America today? Well, you can. And this is the one simple change that I made 12 years ago, and several of us on this call. This is the plant patterns I was telling you about in Juice Plus. And as you can see, there is quite a variety of fruits and vegetables here. You see all those colors that I showed you before in the rainbow. The reds and the purples and the greens and the yellows and the oranges and the whites, the blues, they're all there. And in fact, there are a lot of things there that I bet you don't eat. I know there were things there that I didn't eat. In fact, I didn't even know what a bilberry was, or a black currant, or where you would get one. So you can see this wide variety of fruits and vegetables. And this isn't just a random choice of these fruits and vegetables. They're all put together and because they work so well together in synergy. And that is the beauty of this product that we have been eating now for us and our family for 12 years. And then on the far right, you'll see this orange bottle. This is an omega blend. It is an omega of a blend of omega-3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. And you might ask, well, if that's not fruits and vegetables, why is that? Well, another sad fact is that 90% of Americans are also omega deficient. So we need to supplement our omegas as well. And this is a plant-based omega supplement. It is not from fish oil, as that's what most people have been doing for years, is doing a fish oil supplement. But this, we skipped the fish and went straight to where the fish actually get their algae, which is from, their omegas is from algae. So this has algae and then 5 other seed oils that make up the rest of the blend of the 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. Now, I want to share with you that why this is unique. First of all, this is a food and not a multivitamin. I touched on that before. This carries a food label, a nutrition fact label. It is non-GMO, vegan, it's dairy and gluten-free, and also kosher. Another thing, remember I told you about the Wild Wild West? Well, because of that, and because the vitamin and supplement industry is unregulated, we choose to have ours certified to prove that what's on that label is exactly what's in there. There are also no harmful or artificial ingredients, no contaminants or pesticides, herbicides, or any banned substances in any of these powders. They're tested by NSF to prove that. And their seal is on every one of these bottles. And then third, this is the most researched nutritional product in the world. There are now 48 and counting, there are more coming, published clinical studies since 1993. This is also recommended by more than 8,000 healthcare professionals. And there's also one other study that's done through our Healthy Starts for Families program that there are several other things that have been proven from families with children between the ages of 4 and 25. And we'll talk a little bit more about that program and its benefits for you in a moment. So these are the institutions that have done this research, and you'll recognize some of these here: Yale, Wake Forest, Vanderbilt, just up the road in Nashville from here, Nemours Children's Clinic in Jacksonville, Florida. There are, universities all over the globe. The University of Cambridge, Parma, University of Parma is another. There's several. Toronto. You see some of those that are global as well. So this research is done by the teaching and research hospitals all over the world. Independent research. And this is what that research has proven. This is gold standard, peer-reviewed, and published research that's been done, 48 of them to date. So this is what happens when you eat Juice Plus. Get these plant powders in your body. It's been proven to improve cardiovascular wellness, to support the immune system, which is what we're really talking about tonight, to also improve gum tissue. It's been proven to reduce oxidative stress and inflammation, which is really, those two are the root of all disease, inflammation and oxidative stress in our body. It's also been proven to protect DNA, to also give you healthier skin. Also, insulin resistance to reduce that, obesity, quality of life, and also to improve lung health. Remember the Wild Wild West? Well, the point I want to make here is that the vitamins and supplements that are on the shelves in all the stores, everything from your pharmacies to Walmart to Amazon to even Costco and Sam's, the bulk of them have absolutely no research whatsoever to prove that they do anything in the body when you take them. But also, they can't make any of these claims. In fact, there's been several companies that have come under scrutiny and also have gotten in trouble with the government because they have made claims that they cannot back up. But Juice Plus is different because that research that we have, that independent research, proves that these things actually happen in the body. And these things happen because Juice Plus has also been proven to be bioavailable. And that's really my favorite, the one that says it's bioavailable, meaning your body knows exactly what to do. And is it any surprise that your body knows what to do with fruits and vegetables? I want to make sure you understand that Juice Plus is not about treating or curing specific conditions or diseases. It really is just as simple as I've laid it out here. It is healthy, plant-based nutrition, and it's highly concentrated, meaning it will deliver a powerful nutritional punch. And it is supported by that research that we talked about. Everyone's experience is different, but I can tell you we've got stories on this from people on this call tonight that can tell you the things that have made a difference for them and how this product has improved their health. And maybe we'll get to share some of those stories at the end. This is one of my favorite things, y'all. Juice Plus is so affordable. And you see this cup of gourmet coffee here. $4, I think the best you could do is probably get a $4 cup of gourmet coffee at McDonald's. If you go to Starbucks or any of your local coffee shops, you know it's going to be more than that. But for way less than that, you can get this trio of the fruits, veggies, and berries for $2.67 a day. And for $3.75 a day, you can also add that omega supplement I was talking about earlier. And a bonus is through that Healthy Starts program that we have, the foundation that's been set up, I think 20 years ago for kids. Any child between the ages of 4 and 25 can now get their Juice Plus for free with a sponsoring adult. So any adult that chooses either of these can sponsor a child, whether it be their own child or a grandchild or even a neighbor or a nephew. It doesn't matter. If you know a child that needs more, a better nutrition and, an easy solution to get more fruits and vegetables every day, then that you can sponsor them. So I'm closing now, but I just want to tell you the greatest wealth is our health. And that's becoming more and more evident. As I age and I see the people around me that are struggling with their health. I actually was at a reunion this weekend of my college friends, and I really took note of those that they're my age. I went to school with them, and it saddened me to see so many of them struggling. This one on a cane or that one on a walker, or it really saddened me to see that. It really broke my heart, and to know that there is a solution. But it also made me so very grateful that Nina did persist and get me to come and listen to this information. So I would just want to show this to you. This also displays that we have just a few other products. Our product line is very small. We don't have a book, a catalog full of different things to offer. This is it, everything you see here. I want to point out a couple of things, and that is these gummies right here. This is what were formulated. This is the same plant powders that are in these capsules, but these were formulated for children so that they could, at the age of 4 or actually younger, they can, there's no age limit on who can actually eat the gummies or the capsules. We like to say it's good from womb to tomb. So the gummies were formulated for children, though, so that they would have a yummy gummy and they would eat those. And children do love these. We also have, as I mentioned, the omega. We have this is a protein drink that is powder in a chocolate and vanilla. And this is something that I take at least one of these a day, if not 2. Servings or scoops of complete every day. If I'm not doing that, then I'm using the Perform, which you see next to that. And that powder is also a protein powder that was formulated for athletes to provide more protein and also for better recovery for athletes that are serious about their workouts every day and needed something a little more for them to recover from the exercise that they're doing. And then the last one is the Luminate product, and this was introduced just about a year ago. And I have been drinking Luminate almost every day since then, and I love this. This is a brain health product. It is formulated for clarity, just clarity mind for your mind, and also for mental energy, and also for just energy in general. It is a healthy combination of nootropics and adaptogens. And those are terms that are for herbs that have been gathered together to bring those things, mental clarity and mental focus, and just a healthy energy. Also, it has a it has caffeine in it, but it comes from the entire coffee berry instead of a roasted coffee bean that you get from coffee. So you get the benefit of the whole berry, and it's not a supplement also that gives you any jitters or anything like that. It is something that gives you a steady source of energy throughout the day. And it gives me the energy to sit here and talk with this energy tonight at almost 8 o'clock. Because I had my Luminate hot this morning. I'm loving it during the winter time. I love to have it hot. So these are the products that we offer, and you can see the prices are broken down by the day and also by the month. So the way that Juice Plus comes to you is you will receive a 4-month supply, but you only pay for it as you are consuming it. So on a monthly basis. And so you see the monthly amounts there too, that you can get and pay for them as you're consuming them. And this is what I like to show as kind of what we do. The basic package over here, the basic is really where I started, the fruits, veggies, and berries. And then after that, I added the complete. And then when the Omega came out, I added the Omega product. And then now to cover all the bases, I do that, and I'm doing 2 scoops of the complete most every day. Either have 2 scoops of that or one of our snack bars so I get all these plants. That powder is not just a protein powder, but it is all plant-based. It is also dairy-free and gluten-free, which makes it the perfect combination of all the good and no bad to start your morning out with, and to have for a lunch or a snack in the afternoon. So those are the packages that we have. And I just asked you, where do you see yourself getting started? We would love to help you get started tonight. And this is something that whoever invited you can help you get started. And I just want to say thank you for your time tonight, your attention. And I hope that you have learned something. And we just welcome any questions that you may have as we close out here. So thank you for coming tonight. And Nina, I turn it back to you.